Welcome to Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast, the podcast that empowers you to turn your dreams into reality using the law of attraction. I'm your host, Papi DiNuzzo, and together we'll dive into the mindset, strategies, and energy shifts you need to create the life you've always envisioned. Whether it's health, wealth, happiness, love, relationships, or spirituality. Inspired by my transformative book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, each episode brings you practical tools, inspiring stories, and bold insights to unlock your limitless potential. Get ready to manifest your greatness, and let's dive in.
Podcast disclosure. The following podcast is by DiNuzzo Private Wealth, Inc. DiNuzzo is for general informational purposes only. No portion of the podcast serves as the receipt of or as a substitute for personalized investment advice from DiNuzzo. Different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk, and it should not be assumed that future performance of any specific investment or investment strategy or any non-investment related or planning services, discussion, or content will be profitable, be suitable for your portfolio or individual situation, or prove successful. No portion of the podcast content should be construed by a client or prospective client as a guarantee that he or she will experience a certain level of results if DiNuzzo is engaged or continues to be engaged to provide investment advisory services. Namaste, this is Mikey, and I'd like to thank you for joining me today along with manifestation mindset coach Papi DiNuzzo on the Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast. If you're looking for a manifestation mindset coach, motivational speaker, successful entrepreneur, and best-selling author, please book Papi to speak to your company or book him to speak for free to your nonprofit organization that would love to hear his message of hope, inspiration, and love for ourselves and our fellow brothers and sisters. Also, Papi has a wonderful online community that's growing by leaps and bounds. So if you haven't already, I highly encourage you to join him on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And while you're online, please go to his website and sign up for his 7-day manifesting challenge online coaching course. It's completely free. Just go to papimindsetcoach.com. That's Papi, P-A-P-I, mindsetcoach.com. And at the upper right-hand side of his landing page, just enter your first and last name along with your email address to access this free life-changing wisdom and knowledge. Now let's go to Papi to set the table. Good morning, Papi.
Good morning, Mikey. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. Thank you, Kim, for putting together such a great show. You and Mikey do a phenomenal job every show. I'm very appreciative, very thankful, very grateful for both of you for the great job that you do. Thank you so much. Namaste, my wonderful, beautiful fellow brothers and sisters. Namaste. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you. I want to congratulate you on the greatest day of your life, my fellow brothers and sisters. It can be no other way. All you have is the present. This universe is eternally grounded in the present. Eternally grounded in the present. There is no past. There is no future. All you have is the present. Always keep your head where your feet are at. Always keep your head where your feet are at. How you do anything is how you do everything. This is all about developing habits, developing great habits, my fellow brothers and sisters, to start living your life inside out instead of the way 97% of our fellow brothers and sisters are living their life outside in. I have the greatest news to share with you today. The greatest news. When I heard this news at different points of time over decades of my life, each time it was the greatest day of my life. You are an endless, eternal, ethereal, spiritual being. You are endless. There is no end to your life. That's the greatest news that I can give you. There is no end to your life. No end. All energy, all life, all matter has been created. Energy, life, matter can neither be created nor destroyed. Your life, you have a perfect spirit, perfect spiritual DNA, and perfect spiritual spark. I didn't say okay. I didn't say good. I didn't say above average. I said perfect. Perfect. This has been given to you from the creator of all. Your spiritual DNA and your spiritual spark are exactly the same as the creator of this entire universe and universes and of everything. And this is how you are an extension of source energy. This is how you are an extension of source energy. And you are here to create, to manifest, to co-create with source, to be able to manifest anything you can imagine. Manifest anything you can imagine. The kingdom lives within you, my fellow brothers and sisters. The keys to the kingdom are within you. That's why I'm here. That's why I came here. That's why I was sent here, to show you how to access these keys within you, to show you how to utilize them and untap and awaken this inner knowing, this untapped creative power that resides within you, to remember this awe-inspiring power, this life-changing power, to live your best life in health, wealth, love, happiness, relationships, experiences, and spirituality, to live the best life you can ever imagine. You are a magnet, my fellow brothers and sisters, and you attract unto you both good and bad. Both good and bad. It cannot be any other way. The creator of all never says no. The creator of all, you are so loved. The creator of all never says no. So what's the challenge? The challenge, my fellow brothers and sisters, is for the over 8 billion fellow brothers and sisters of ours on planet Earth. Out of every 5 thoughts they're having, 4 are negative. I am sorry. I will never amount to anything. I will never be any good. Hopefully, I can start to make progress on that tomorrow. Today was a disaster. I'll never be any good at this. My fellow brothers and sisters, these are all direct orders to source. You got to put your big boy pants on, put your big girl pants on, and step into the power that you came here to access. Not just your thoughts, not just a book, not just a chapter, not just a paragraph, not just a sentence, not just a phrase, but single words. Every single word you state is heard and taken action on. That's how powerful you are. Protect your thoughts, my fellow brothers and sisters. Protect them with everything you have. If you can think it in your mind, you can and will hold it in your hand. You want to bring it into your life, my fellow brothers and sisters. You think that thought and you apply feelings and emotions to it, and it's on its way. You want to have success? You think the majority and supermajority of positive. Think it, see it, say it, feel it, act it. It will come into your life. It can be no other way. It can be no other way. This is all under universal laws. You live in a thought world within a perfect and infinite thought universe, all operating under perfect and infinite universal laws. So I want to thank you again, my fellow brothers and sisters. You can never say no one loves you, because Papi loves you. I love each and every one of my fellow brothers and sisters. I love you. I love you. I love you. I thank you so much. You listening in today is not a coincidence. It never is. It never is. Your subconscious mind was pulled in connection with universal subconscious mind to hear this wonderful message, and to reinvent yourself, and to be able to manifest anything you could imagine. So thank you again, Kim. Thank you, Mikey, for putting together such a great podcast today. Namaste, my wonderful sisters. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you. What a great positive way to start off the podcast. Thank you for that message. Pappy, I know that you're always busy spreading your message. A message like that, has to be heard by. It's so important for everyone to be able to hear that. And I know that you're also, guests on a lot of podcasts, and you also attend some live events. And I know that you were at the Gaia Healers Wellness Conference in Orlando. Can you share a little bit about that and the message that you gave to those lucky people that got to hear you there?
Yeah, thank you, Mikey. When Mikey and I were putting together today's show, one thing that Mikey and I work on is the title for the episode of the podcast, and that sort of drives everything. And when Mikey, when I were going through this, we go through sort of chronologically in events that I've been at when I've been interacting with our fellow brothers and sisters, because I learned so much. It's such a wonderful experience. If I'm giving a live presentation, it could be a large presentation, It could be a smaller group breakout, like the next day. Sometimes there's smaller group breakouts and sessions. It could be a podcast. It could be a virtual presentation. Any type of interaction with fellow brothers and sisters. There's so much of a learning experience when I get to ask questions and see the thoughts that are going through our fellow brothers and sisters' minds and what they need help with. And when Mikey and I are working on today's show, the title that we came up with is Where Ancient Wisdom Meets Western Technology. And that was evident in the featured presentation that I gave at the Gaia Healing Conference in Orlando, Florida, a little while back. And there was a lot of Western technology, so to speak. And my presentation was, of course, coming from the perspective of ancient wisdom. We can even say a little more detailed ancient Eastern wisdom, how it flowed through here on planet Earth. But this is combining ancient wisdom with modern Western technology, and there's room for everyone. And I love how a lot of technology is merging in, because anything that can help our fellow brothers and sisters succeed and help them to be able to manifest anything they can imagine. You came here, my fellow brothers and sisters, to further express, expand, increase, and grow. You came here to create. I only offer suggestions to you, but this is the strongest suggestion I could possibly offer you. You came here to create. You came here to manifest. You came here to tie in to the universal law of increase, the universal law of perpetual increase, universal law of consciousness, you name it, the universal law of love, divine oneness. You came here to create. You came here to create and live your best life. And as I mentioned to you before, everything that goes on inside of you can be summarized very simply under neuroscience. And there are neuroscientists who study when you are in harmony, alignment, and flow or not. But let's look at the good side. When you're in harmony, alignment, and flow, and when you are manifesting positively, everything, all these miracles upon miracles upon miracles that go on within your body. It's absolutely, they are miracles on display. And that's the work of neuroscience scientists. And they've been accumulating knowledge by leaps and bounds over the decades and over the most recent years. Everything outside of you from a human perspective would be under the science of quantum physics. Quantum physics and quantum physicists study that. That's what they're experts on. I'm coming toward you. I'm coming with you, holding your hand, arm in arm, leveling you up from a much bigger perspective, that of spirituality. I'm coming to you from a perspective of 100% pure spirituality, zero religion. This has nothing to do with religion. I never talk about religion. I come to you from a perspective of 0%. My goal is to be completely neutral as to everything. I love you. I love my fellow brothers and sisters. I love everyone. I love everything. The most important universal law that we have, most important universal law there is, the universal law of love. It's the only universal law that fulfills all others. And it was a wonderful event when I see a lot of our fellow brothers and sisters who were pulled into, it was at a very nice hotel. They had a very nice attendance. And when you see fellow brothers and sisters, a lot of which who not get to hear the ancient wisdom message, had they not been attracted to the Western technology. And I love that. Whatever gets you in here under this tent, whatever it takes. This is a message of love and light and truth and goodness. However you get under this tent, through love, through light, through truth, and through goodness, I welcome you with open arms. And there was a number of Western technology experts, doctors, physicians, etc., that when I started asking the audience and started having some give and take with the audience, they were quite surprised. Asked the audience members, can you please raise your hand if you've ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Andrew Carnegie and his impact on mind, body, and spirit and manifesting? And there was a super majority of hands went up in that audience. Audience members, have you ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Napoleon Hill? Super majority of hands go up in the audience. This is 70, 80, 90%. And this was a technology-based room. People came here for various access and to learn about various technologies, machines that you can hook up to, reading your chakras and giving you advice and all these different things. Have any of you ever heard of Earl Nightingale? Have any of you ever heard of Bob Proctor, Neville Goddard, Dolores Cannon? I named a few other names. 70, 80, 90% of the hands are going up in the audience. So our fellow brothers and sisters, it was a wonderful merge, a wonderful merger of fellow brothers and sisters who came in with an attachment and with a learning experience through ancient wisdom, just pure power and spirit and energy flowing down into you and myself and Mikey and Kim and every one of our 8 billion fellow brothers and sisters. This ancient wisdom coupled with Western technology, it was a wonderful experience. There were a lot of ancient wisdom attendees who I feel were elevated because of their experience and conversations with Western technology. And I know for sure there's a lot of Western technology attendees who are very much uplifted by their interaction with ancient wisdom. So it was just a wonderful experience. Again, the left brain Mikey with the quantitative side, those were folks who were very much in tune with the Western technology. The right brain audience from the ancient wisdom perspective. But it was a very wonderful day, and I thank all who were involved. It was just a great experience bringing a lot of our diverse fellow brothers and sisters together under one roof.
It sounds really interesting, and really uplifting being around so many like-minded people. Like, I think it's like a bunch of, I don't know how to say it, like old souls using new tools. So I think that's like a really
That's a great way.
interesting event. So,
Yeah.
and speaking of uplifting, Pappy loves to send uplifting and positive messages every week to your inbox with 2 free concepts to live by. And all you have to do is sign up on his mailing list. And with so much negativity coming towards us every week, every day, it's just great to get those emails in your inbox with that uplifting message. And I know you have a really important one today that you're going to talk about.
Yeah, Mikey. I'll just cover one today. This is a this is a very big topic. And the concept to live by that I sent out recently, Mikey, was simply I am. And anytime I spell M, I spell capital A, capital M. I am. My fellow brothers and sisters, if I was to ask you a question, what are the 2 most important words when combined in the English language? This would be the answer to that question. I am. There are no more powerful words. When I let off the show today, I told you you can have the concept of an entire book of knowledge. You can read an entire book. It could be a chapter. It could be a paragraph. It could be a sentence. It could be a phrase. 2 words. These are the 2 most important words in any language. I suggest you the strongest suggestion of suggestions, my fellow brothers and sisters. Trust me. I ask you to follow me till you find 1 of 2 things not to be true. Either I'm lying or I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. You'll never find either of those to be true. I'm suggesting you with the strongest suggestion I possibly can. These are the 2 most powerful words you can ever utter. When you state, I am, you are calling on source consciousness. You are calling on all knowledge and all power of all time into you and through you. I mentioned Dr. Masaru Emoto, E-M-O-T-O. I love his work because it's contemporary and he meets in the middle from a completely different perspective. I call him the water doctor. You've heard me talk about him before. He talks to a pitcher of water in a glass pitcher. He says, I love you, I love you, I love you. He goes over to the glass pitcher next to it and looks directly at it, like he's looking into the eyes of a human being, of a fellow brother and sister. He says, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. He freezes that water. And then my fellow brothers and sisters, go online and Google it. You will not believe the difference. The water that he says, I love you, are the most beautiful frozen crystals you can ever imagine. The water that he says, I hate you, are the most hideous frozen crystals you could ever imagine. This is what I'm talking to you about, my fellow brothers and sisters. You and all of us live in an energy field within a field of consciousness. Not only your words imprint this energy field, this field of consciousness, as you've heard me say a million times, your thoughts imprint this energy field, this field of consciousness. And what I'm focusing on today is words. Your words imprint this energy field, this field of consciousness. Dr. Emoto took it a few steps further. He looked at the water and he would just think, I love you. I love you. I love you. He would just look at the other water and think, would not utter a word, would not utter a word. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Just thought it in his head. Same results. Beautiful frozen crystals from I love you from the thoughts. Hideous frozen crystals from I hate you. Takes it one step further. He puts it in smaller little containers and he writes words on it. And he wrote all kind of different words, but let's just stay with the same thought here. I love you. I hate you. Just wrote these words, didn't speak them, didn't think them, just wrote the words on the container, on a smaller container like a beaker. What do you think? The words he wrote on that water had the same exact result. Not even spoken, just the written word on that water. My fellow brothers and sisters, I love you more than words could ever express. Just stay with me. And with all due respect, it is unimaginable how much the fellow brothers and sisters of ours on this planet Earth don't understand what's going on. And I mean no harm by that phrase. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Your subconscious mind will let you know that this is true. So when you state, I am, Source never says no. Source says, yes, I started giving you examples earlier. I am sorry. I am no good. I am not ever going to amount to anything. Source says, you are no good. I'll make sure of that. You're never going to amount to anything. I will honor your request. Put your big boy pants on, put your big girl pants on, and get with the program. There was a saying, whenever I grew up, when I was playing football years ago, the professionals, everybody got coached hard. Everybody got coached hard. Then something changed in between over the decades, and there were players who started to be called things like prima donna, and they were handled differently. And I'm just thinking about the sport football. It happens in all sports. And then it came about that somebody says, well, you can't just handle them and just let them do whatever they want to do, so to speak. So they come to an agreement where at least the superstars would come to the coach and they came to the team and they'd have an agreement. At least so they would know, so they weren't guessing. You want to be coached hard? You want to be coached soft? And when I say coaching hard, my brothers and sisters, I'm not talking about mean. I'm not talking about nasty. I'm just talking about lighting a fire under you, prodding you, nudging you, cajoling you, pushing you with love. I can only coach you hard because I can only coach you by the truth. I can only coach by the truth. I will never second guess myself that I didn't give you 100%, that I just let you walk into a wood chipper or let you go jog and run off a cliff just because I'm going to coach you soft. I can't do that. I'm just being honest with you. So when I say put your big boy pants on, I say that with 100% love. When I say put your big girl pants on, I mean 100% love. Take a look at this. Take time to reflect. Shut everything off and sit alone for 5, 10, 15 minutes and let this flow into you. There are no more powerful words that you can state that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am, I am. You want to bless your food? Bless your food. I am that I am. I am that I am. You bless your water when you drink it. I am living water. Your body is 70% water, my fellow brothers and sisters. You can take whatever it is, and if you bring in this blessing, this power that you have, you can completely change the composition of it. Be extraordinarily careful of the words you use, of the words that you use to come out of your mouth, and of the words that you allow to come into your ears. Pay very close attention to the music you listen to to the news you listen to the social media you engage with. If you allow anything in your ears and you do not cancel or reject it, it could be the most negative thing on earth. Your subconscious mind says, you are the king, you are the queen, you are the boss. I'm taking action on it. So my fellow brothers and sisters, every word that you utter has meaning, carries vibration, and carries frequency. That is how powerful you are. And there are two no more important words than I am. I am, I am. I am, I am. Be extraordinarily careful. My fellow brothers and sisters, use this to your advantage. Once you waking up in the morning, I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am loved. I am enjoying the greatest relationships. I am enjoying the greatest experiences. I am enjoying the greatest spirituality of my life. I am, I am, I am, I am. I'm so happy and grateful now that the most wonderful things are happening to me today. Use this power, my brothers and sisters. You can and will call this into your life. You will speak it into your life. Speak it as I teach you. With the power that's within you, you have to put your big boy and big girl pants on and command this into your life. Invoke this into your life. Step into what you deserve. Step into why you came here. Open up the inner knowing. Open up the remembrance of your mind. Open this up, and I guarantee it'll flow through. I am, I am. I am, I am. My fellow brothers and sisters, the two most powerful words. You can manifest anything you can imagine just by these two words. Think it, see it, speak it, feel it, and act it. It will come into your life under universal law. You've manifested everything in your life. Let's start manifesting proactively instead of reactively. Let's start living inside out instead of outside in. So thank you, Mikey. I can't think of a more powerful concept to live by than two words, the two most powerful words in any language. I am, and always capitalize A, capital A, and capital M. I am, I am, I am, I am.
Those are very powerful words, and they're just two simple words. And, it's so easy to say to other people, you are loved, you are amazing, and how difficult it is to actually turn it around and tell yourself, I am loved, I am amazing. And you always say, self-talk is so important. So that's a really great concept to live by. And speaking of coaching hard, Pappy, I know that you always have a manifest coaching tip for us. So what is the one that you're sharing with us today?
Well, Mikey, as you're very well familiar with, because you've been close to me for decades, and as our listeners already learned today, I tend to bounce around a little bit when I get going, and we've touched on this already. I'll just touch on a little bit more. But the main coaching tip for today was this combination, this conflation of ancient wisdom and Western technology. So I would just like to remind the audience that they very well in the near future, I'm working on a number of things that I've been approached by a number of companies who you would call in the Western technology category, and they want me to incorporate ancient wisdom into their technology. So I think the most important thing is to start, obviously, with ancient wisdom, universal laws, source, everything that I talk about. Build your base and foundation there, and then you can complement this with Western technology. So there's a headset company, Mikey, that I'm talking with. It's very high technology where I can assist our fellow brothers and sisters with my verbal message. But when combined with this technology, it may help a lot of our brothers and sisters a lot more with their waking ritual in the morning. It may help them tremendously with their sleeping ritual at night. It may help them during the course of the day if they're having a challenging moment or period of time, to offer them a reset during the day. So I just ask you to keep your mind open. There's a number of projects incorporating myself and my message. This is universal message, not my message, but universal message and universal love into this technology. And as I said, a lot of our fellow brothers and sisters learn a lot of different ways. And this is meeting with a lot of success. So we could be making some announcements in the near future. But again, combining ancient wisdom with the wisdom of all knowledge and all power of all time, with Western technology to assist our brothers and sisters to be able to help them to manifest anything you can imagine.
Well, that's exciting. That's something to look forward to. So we'll have to keep our ears and eyes open
Yes.
for that one. And coming back full circle, I know that your affirmations always begin with those two powerful words, I am, I capital A, capital M, and you always use them in the present. So your affirmation is, I am so happy and grateful now that, and what is it, the rest of it? Can you share it with us?
Yes, Mikey. I mean, I tell the audience, I tell our brothers and sisters, there's nothing like particularly special. Affirmations are virtually the same as intentions, which are virtually the same as prayers. You're speaking directly to source. You're calling on all of the unlimited power that you have available to you. You're thinking a thought and you're applying emotion to it. And typically you're verbalizing it with that emotion. And as I said, what are the first two words we talked about, Mikey, before? The two most important words, every affirmation, you'll see I start with I am, capital A, capital M. You're speaking, you're stepping into that Christ consciousness, the God force that's within you. I am so happy. I talk over and over about how important emotions are. I'm embedding an emotion right there. I am so happy. And what's my favorite? Gratitude. So we've got three powerhouses right here. I am so happy and grateful. Now, when you give authentic, genuine gratitude from a humble heart, my fellow brothers and sisters, you are vibrating in exactly the same frequency as abundance. When I found that out years ago, it was one of the happiest days of my life. You give the greatest, highest gratitude for something, and you are vibrating exactly the same frequency as abundance, abundance vis-a-vis relative to that specific topic. As you heard me say, you give gratitude for the roof over your head, the clothes on your back, the food on your table. You give that at a great high positive level. I call that your launch point, way up above your belly button, above your midsection, launching from the highest point possible, the highest vibration possible. You're vibrating on that. You're vibrating and sending out that frequency on the same exact vibration and frequency as abundance for that idea. It's coming into your life. I'm so happy and grateful now. And we always state now, I mentioned earlier in today's show, all we have is the present. There is nothing else. There's no past. There's no future. All we have is the present. The affirmation for today, I am so happy and grateful now that I focus on the importance of my imagination and frequent visualization of my goal and mental image, coupled with my unwavering burning desire, emotion, high vibration, buoyancy, belief, faith, and continuous gratitude. What a powerful affirmation, my brothers and sisters. We're reaching out to source all knowledge and all power of all time to be brought into our life, whatever you want. You want a job promotion, you want the love of your life, you want to be married, a significant other, you want improved physical health, you want improved mental wellness, you want to have a reserve account, you're getting ready to go into retirement, you want to sleep like a baby, you can ask for anything. And you say, and I'm saying here that I focus on the importance of my imagination. This all starts up above your head. Just think of it from a human perspective. Imagination, ideas, and thoughts. Imagination, ideas, and thoughts. Nothing's more important. That starts this entire process. And then what do I mention with the next one? The visualization. And visualization is so powerful, my brothers and sisters. I tell you, I'm old school. I've been on Earth for 7 decades. When I grew up, we had Polaroid cameras. Those are those square cameras. When you took a picture, it made a big clicking noise, made a grinding noise, and then a 3x3 or 4x4 photo came out of that camera, a hard copy on like a little piece of cardboard of that picture. I want you to get it down to whatever that snapshot of that picture, that means that you have succeeded at your goal. You can see that bank account. You can see yourself in front of the aficionado. You're getting married in front of your loved ones. You take that snapshot of whatever you want into your life. You think of it. You apply emotion to it. My fellow brothers and sisters, It doesn't even have to be 17 seconds, but I told you 17 seconds, as briefly as thinking about something for 17 seconds, makes a full imprint on the universe. So you visualize it, you visualize your goal and your mental image, and then you couple that, what I say, your burning desire and emotion. And when you apply that burning desire and emotion, you throw out the highest vibration you could possibly imagine. That's your cell phone, my fellow brothers and sisters, for your goal, your three most important experiences, your many experiences throughout the day. Hold your phone as high as possible, vibrate as high as possible, and let the best possible solutions come back into your life. I say belief for everything outside, faith in yourself, all the wondrous gifts you've been given. You've been blessed beyond any concept of which you could ever imagine is how much you've been blessed. The gifts that you have. You're in a minority in this universe with this perfect spiritual spark that you have, how you're designed, how special you're designed, a perfect spiritual spark, all these gifts. Use these special gifts you've been given. And I finish and I say, and continue and utilize continuous gratitude. You can give gratitude all throughout the day. All throughout the day, give gratitude, give thanks, give appreciation, give gratitude all throughout the day. My fellow brothers and sisters, there's nothing that disconnects the energy cycle more than you are being delivered blessings from source all day long. You're receiving blessings all day long. And what do most of our fellow brothers and sisters do? They block them with complaints. It's almost like a piñata coming down an assembly line towards you. You get out your complaint baseball bat, bam, you blow it up. Here comes another blessing coming down towards you, hanging right in front of you. Bam, you whack it with your complaint baseball bat again, busting it up and not allowing it to be delivered to you. Instead of complaining and hitting these blessings and not recognizing them that are being delivered to you all day long, start to give thanks, start to give appreciation, start to give gratitude. It will change your life, my brothers and sisters. It'll change your life like you can't even imagine. Thank you, Mikey. That was a wonderful topic.
Yeah, what a wonderful reminder just to remind us to be grateful throughout our day, to just pause and just say thanks. So that's a good reminder. Um,
Yes.
we've come to the part of the show where one of our listeners have submitted a question to you, Pappy, and today they submitted the question, how do you choose for your brain to be your biggest support or your biggest enemy?
Yes, my fellow brothers and sisters. First of all, I'd like to just add a nuance to this. I don't like to talk about our brain. That gets in. We were talking earlier, Mikey, about the neuroscience and about, how that flows to quantum physics, et cetera. Whenever we talk about the brain, whenever I ask anyone, my fellow brothers and sisters, what do you think your mind is? 99% of the time, whenever I first meet someone, our fellow brothers says, "Hey, Pappy, I think my mind is my brain." You've heard me say your brain's more of your mind than your nose or your toes are. So I want you to start thinking, my fellow brothers and sisters, instead of your brain, I want you to start thinking about your mind, because this is how you communicate with universal intelligence, with source power, with the love that's just sitting in front of you and enveloping you, immersed. You're immersed in it all around you, how you access it. I want you to think about your mind. Your mind, as I showed that circle, I draw a big circle around my head, put a horizontal line through it. I say your conscious mind on top, your subconscious mind on the bottom half of that circle. I call that the bowl on the bottom half of the circle. Your conscious mind on top, your lid or your dome. That is to protect your subconscious mind in a tie for its most important job. Little line going down to a small circle for your body. Your body's an instrument of your mind. Your body, when these thoughts and these vibrations and frequencies flow through you, they come out of your body, and it's one of your main instruments for communicating with your fellow brothers and sisters, of where your cell phone tower power comes from, so to speak, from your vibrations. So how do you choose? And that's what today's show's all been all about, my fellow brothers and sisters, is reestablishing and open up your mind to a different belief system. 97%, Mikey, about 97 out of 100 of our fellow brothers and sisters believe that they're in a 3D world. And I think most of you have probably seen this image that I show over and over, a fork in the highway, and it looks like a Y. You're walking down the base of the Y, walking up towards that fork. And of course, one part of the Y goes to the left, the other one goes to the right. And there's a big green and white sign on the left that says 3D. There's a big green and white sign on the right that says 5D. Are you going to stay in the 3D world thinking that this is a physical world? And I talked before about my heroes, my Italian grandma Anne, my Italian grandma Rose, rather, my Polish grandma Anne, and my mother Phyllis. I love them more than words can describe. And I think about my Italian grandma Rose, came here from Italy. She thought she was going to die in this stone quarry swinging a sledgehammer. This woman was 5 feet tall, swinging a sledgehammer, effectively breaking big stones into little stones. She came here into the little steel mill town outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with my grandfather, Pasquale. She had 13 kids in a 2-bedroom house. They worked, my Italian grandparents in that steel mill. My Polish grandparents in that steel mill, J&L Eloquippa steel mill over 40 years. My Italian grandfather, Pasquale, over 40 years in Crucible Steel Mill, Midland, Pennsylvania, little steel mill towns right outside of Pittsburgh. My mother, Phyllis, the same thing, salt of the earth. They were such hard workers. The only thing that they knew, they never heard this message. No one ever told them this. And they applied themselves and they worked hard. And I don't want you to do that, my fellow brothers. This is in honor of my grandmothers, in honor of my mother. That look that I saw in my Italian grandmother's eyes when I was maybe 6 years old, just me and her in a house in Midland, Pennsylvania. She told me she thought she was going to die standing out in that stone quarry in the heat, 5 foot tall, swinging a sledgehammer. That's the way 97% of our fellow brothers and sisters are thinking, that we're only in the 3D world, that the only way you do better, instead of working 40 hours, you work 50 hours. Instead of working 50 hours, you work 50 hours and you get a second job. That is not it, my fellow brothers and sisters. I'm going to get you off of that 3D highway and get you on the 5D highway to just give me, can you just believe in 1% of what I've said today? And I see your heads nodding. I know you can believe in 1%. That if you can think it in your mind, you can and will hold it in your hand. We live in a thought world within a perfect and infinite thought universe. And that's what I'm here for, to teach you, to love you, to coach you up, to hold your hand, to level you up. And when you start to just access this information, my fellow brothers and sisters, that I'm teaching, you will answer this question as far as how do you want your brain, and we're talking about your mind, how do you want it to operate? You will start to use your conscious mind to cancel, reject garbage that's coming at you. You'll never succeed because of this. You'll never succeed because of that. Or you're going to fail. Or you can never do it. I cancel that. I reject that. I refuse to participate. You start protecting your subconscious mind. You start realizing the awe-inspiring power that you've been blessed with, that you can only hold one thought in your mind at a time, only one. So mission critical. Do not, capital N, capital O, capital T, not ever give that power up to anyone else. That's your entire power that you have on planet Earth, is your creative thought. It starts the whole process. Guard that with your life. Never allow anyone else to tell you how to think. Never let some simple thing trigger you, quote unquote. You have divine power inside of you, all knowledge and all power of all time. You have divinity, a sovereign divinity inside of you. That's what's inside of you. Nothing can tell you what thought to think. And you start controlling those thoughts. You start thinking just a little bit more positive. You start applying emotions to that, feelings and emotions, and just take a little bit of action. You got to take action. You know that. You heard me say it a million times, but you do this by your thoughts, your imagination, your ideas and your thoughts. You apply your feelings and emotions. Use that conscious mind to protect your subconscious mind. We're having up to 60,000 thoughts per day. Even if it's half of it, even if it's 30,000 thoughts. Use these thoughts. Do not let anyone else put those thoughts into your head. When you start controlling the thoughts, my fellow brothers and sisters, this is how, from human terms, you can use your brain. But I want you to think of your mind. It will change your life unlike anything you could imagine. So thank you, Mikey. That was another wonderful question from the audience. I love questions. And I know I bring so many back anytime I speak. I typically get, I don't say buttonholed, so to speak, but after I'm done talking, it could be for 30 minutes. Sometimes it's an hour or two. with people asking questions and the conversations go on. So I do love bringing a lot of questions back here to the office. So we add those to our data bank because, as everybody knows, you've all heard that if one person's thinking that thought, there's hundreds, thousands, or even a million other fellow brothers and sisters who have the same question. So thank you, everyone, for the questions that you provide.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you so much for that visualization. I could think by now that we've listened to Pappy long enough that we can actually visualize those images that he is talking about. And another way that we can, well, there's lots of questions that he gets asked all the time. And one way we can, get them answered not just by Pappy is by focusing on his book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. And I highly recommend that you read at least one page a day. A lot of times I have been there where people have said, "Oh my gosh, I've listened to your book, I've read your book, and that wasn't in there before." No, it was in there before. It's just that the universe just showed it to you or just had you listen to it. So the more you listen to the book, the more you read it, the more you're going to get out of it. And one of the great things are the quotes at the beginning of every chapter. And I know we have a great one lined up for us today. Pappy, you want to read that for us?
Yes, Mike. And this is one Mikey picked out of chapter 5 in my book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. And for newer listeners, again, the torch has been passed off from Andrew Carnegie to Napoleon Hill to Earl Nightingale to Bob Proctor to Pappy DiNuzzo. And as I said, you've heard me say numerous times, I hope that the torch was passed off to dozens, hundreds, thousands of fellow brothers and sisters. But it's been passed off to me. And a quick way, one way that somebody summed this up a while back, Mikey, that they were telling someone, they said, if you like Think and Grow Rich, I think you'll love Pappy. So it starts with Think and Grow Rich, wonderful content, still wonderful to this day. Next gen is Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, my book. I say read it every day. If you can't afford it, I provide a free copy. If you go to pappymindsetcoach.com, just fill in a couple pieces of information. I will email you a free copy of the book. I would never tell you to be successful to read my book every day to try to sell it to you. That's not the point. And then the book, as Mikey said, information just comes through over and over again. I listen to my book all the time. I read it, but I love listening to books. I listen to it when I'm taking a shower in the morning, when I'm shaving, over and over. It's pure love, light, truth, and goodness. It's pure awakening. It's pure inner knowledge. It's pure remembrance. It's pure love. My fellow brothers and sisters, open up to it. The quote Mikey picked from chapter 5, believe and know in your heart of hearts that universal intelligence longs for you to have everything you want and desire in life and manifest and live your best life. Universal intelligence has set your table in front of you for you to express, expand, increase, grow, succeed, create, and manifest, and fulfill your dreams and wishes by living your best life. Step into your new 1% better self every single morning and co-create with it. This is universal intelligence's primal desire for you. Pappy DiNuzzo, it's the primal desire for you, my fellow brothers and sisters, from the love, from the creator of all, for you to live your best life. I've told you before, pain, suffering, war, anger, violence, illness, sickness, greed, jealousy, anger, all abnormal, atypical, not to be here, not to be in our lives, my fellow brothers and sisters. Walk away from it. Mike even mentioned earlier, even the simple act of self-talk, just your self-talk, just the talk that you tell yourself, the words that you tell yourself when you're alone sitting at home, you're alone in the shower, you're alone driving a car. Extraordinarily powerful. You can change your life just from the self-talk that you share with yourself. So thank you, Mikey, for picking out such a wonderful quote from Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. Thank you so much.
It is a great quote, and it's a great quote to end the show with. Just use those two powerful words that we learned about today, I am, and just say to yourself, I am going to live my best life today. That's what the universe wants for us. And to help you do that, I just want to remind you to sign up for Pappy's free 7-day manifesting challenge online coaching course on pappymindsetcoach.com. That's Pappy, P-A-P-I, mindsetcoach.com, where you'll find the link at the upper right-hand side of our landing page. Thank you very much. And I know, Pappy, you have a special closing for us today.
Yeah, a special closing. And, Mikey, you and I say all the time, happy Pappy. I love happy. And we'll say, happy Pappy. I love happy. I just love being around it. And I was at one of the speaking engagements. It was in two different cities. And this one gentleman had attended both of them. He's from the Midwest United States. And the other one was down in the Southeast in the presentation I gave. And he said, Pappy, I just want to let you know, I love your podcast. He said, when I first heard you a few years ago, he said, I realized how important this was. He said, it just like rang like a bell just the very first time. So it was his subconscious mind. It was picking up on that. And he said, when I realized how important it is, he said, I've been using this to change my life in so many different ways. And he's gotten closer and closer to me over time. And he said, really, the most important thing is I want to share this with my sons, his two young sons, and my fellow brothers and sisters. Just think of that, a family member, someone close to you, someone you love, to be able to share this, to be able to help them live their best life possible. And he said, Mikey, how he tried a number of different techniques. And the one that he has found most success with is playing our podcast for his two sons when he drives them to school in the morning. So again, he's got his two young sons in the back seat. He says, Pappy, truthfully, when I look at them and I see what they're doing, they're talking and carrying on, he says, I don't know if they're hearing anything or getting any of it. And I told him, I said, no, they are. I said, their subconscious mind is hearing it loud and clear. I said, so, I said, versus the music that's on the radio or anything else. So that's just an example right there. I said, Mikey, I listen to it, like I said, in the shower, shaving, getting ready, when I'm waking up in the morning, before I'm going to sleep. Positive energy, positive message, love, light, truth, and goodness. And he said, Pappy, I just want to tell you, he said, the woman who's on there with you, he said, she does a phenomenal job. And I said, yeah, thank you very much. I said, that's Mikey. She does a phenomenal job. He said, she does a phenomenal job. You both have a great rapport back and forth. It's like a really good rapport. However you guys have done that and you do it. And he said, just like her messaging and how she delivers it. And he said, it's just really, really good. And I said, well, I'll share that with you. So I'm sharing that with Mikey here on air. And just what I want to share with the audience is there's more to this story. And that's whenever we started, my subconscious mind told me Mikey was the person for this. And Mikey wrestled with this, so to speak. It was one word that I can use. And she was thinking, maybe I can't do it. Maybe I won't be good at it, a whole bunch of different things. So my point is that Mikey manifested this, and she is phenomenal at what she does. She does a phenomenal job, as evidenced by a complete stranger, so to speak, from the other side of the country here in the United States, and how her voice is helping him, how it's helping his sons, how much he appreciates it. And I know firsthand that there were people that told Mikey and told me, Mikey will never succeed at this. She's not going to be good at this. She won't be good at this. So when I point my fellow brothers and sisters, the larger accomplishments that I've had in life, there's almost a direct correlation to fellow brothers and sisters who told me that it is stupid. I'm going to fall flat on my face. I will never accomplish it. Don't think that I live in some type of privileged territory, special territory. I almost have a system that the more people are calling me names, the better that I know, the better trail that I know that I'm on. So I just want to commend Mikey for her growth, for her manifesting this. This was through her self-talk, her positive attitude, her high vibration, the fact that she stepped into this, and not just that she stepped into it, but she is exceptionally good at what she does. I'm blessed to have her. I'm blessed to have Kim producing the show. And I just want to thank you, Mikey, for the wonderful work that you do and how much you're helping your fellow brothers and sisters, and how much better of a person life that I have because I'm blessed to know you. So I thank you so much, sister,
Oh,
for the great work
thank
that you
you
do. Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you for those
Thank you.
kind words. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Self-talk, I know. And
Uh,
it's nice to hear it from someone. It's so much easier to hear it from someone else. So thank you.
yeah, I'm just joking when I say Mikey will kick me in the shins when she sees me. Lord, what are you doing? You should have told me that. You told me on air. You told me. But now I want to share that with the audience because of how much of a positive effect you're having. And in closing, as Mikey said, just to close out, I always want to close out with love, my fellow brothers and sisters. I love you so much. Love is so prevalent in this universe. It's there for you. Step into it. You can never say you're not loved. You're loved by the creator of all more than you can ever imagine. So I want to thank all of you for joining us today for this wonderful Pappy Mindset Coach podcast. I'm going to thank you so much for joining us today. I am so grateful, so thankful, so appreciative for you listening in. I want to send you love, light, truth, and goodness, sending you awakening, inner knowing, and remembrance. Most important, I'm sending my positive energy to you, my fellow brothers and sisters, to feel this, to immerse yourself in it. You are loved. Thank you so much for stepping in today from the entire team here at Papi Mindset Coach. I send you love from myself and our entire team. I thank you. We're here for you to hold your hand, walk arm in arm, level you up, to be here for you, to help you to manifest anything you can imagine. Namaste, my beautiful, wonderful fellow brothers and sisters. Namaste until we meet again. That's a wrap for this episode of Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast. Keep those dreams big and your mindset unstoppable. Take one step today toward the life you're manifesting, because you can create anything you imagine. If you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Visit PapiMindsetCoach.com for more resources and follow us at Papi Mindset Coach on social platforms for daily inspiration. If you love this episode, share it with someone ready to transform their life. Until next time, stay focused, stay positive, and keep on manifesting your best life. See you soon.